Hello, it's Big Soprano, and I still got that upcoming Q&A, so drop your comments if you want to, and it will be featured in the video. We just have to record it soon. This is not the Q&A, but the Q&A is coming soon. So today I'm going to talk about my failed attempts at living alone. So in the last bit of 2023, I was homeless in the shelter, and I had a caseworker. And what caseworkers do is they like try to get you out of homelessness and all that. You know, they work for the shelter and all that. And that caseworker applied me for an apartment, and things were going well. I went to interviews for the apartment, and I got accepted into the apartment. Then I moved to my aunt's with the plans of moving to the apartment. But eventually I get arrested and my apartment is put on hold, despite going through two interviews. They don't answer my calls until I give the employee's number to my aunt. My aunt talks to the employee, and the worker there said I wouldn't be a good fit. The place was dangerous and there was always people stealing, as well as people doing drugs. So they knew, according to my history, it wouldn't work out for me. But that pissed me off. This plan was going on for like 2 months. I felt like I got sidelined by the workers there. One arrest and they put it on hold. I remember during an interview, one of the workers asked, "Are you aware that you are scary?" And that has to be the most out of pocket question ever be in an interview. Like, what the fuck is your problem, bitch? Like, how do I look scary? Does anyone who is homeless look scary? Everyone who is homeless looks scary, apparently. Well, maybe homeless people do look scary, but I could assure you I do not look scary. And I guess I look scary because I just got off drugs and I wasn't mentally stable for a long time. I was barely there mentally after all the drugs. It was insane. But if I lived in an apartment alone, I would probably do drugs again. I'm not saying I have access to drugs or personally would do drugs again, but living alone would send me down that rabbit hole because there's no one to stop me. And it would be so depressing if I lived alone. I would barely have any food, and I would eat 6 corn dogs a day since I didn't cook. So I'm kind of glad I don't live alone. That would have fucking sucked. I have my mom to help me, I have my aunt to help me, and all that. My mom doesn't live with me, but I live with my aunt, and my mom helps me here and there. And my aunt and uncle cook me dinner almost every day, which is awesome. And like I just wouldn't be able to survive alone, honestly. Like, I'm fine with doing groceries and all that, but like I just don't cook. I know how to cook like burgers and all that, but I just don't do it. I don't do it here because like I got in trouble for setting the stove past like 5, and I never cooked again. Cause I didn't want to cook my burgers on like 3 and wait 30 minutes just for one burger. You know, that would fucking suck. So that's why I don't cook anymore. Because I got chewed out for no reason. Because the smoke detector went off. Because fuck that smoke detector. I put it on a fucking skew. It fucking ruined my chances of ever fucking cooking. Because she wouldn't have known I was cooking that high if the smoke detector didn't fucking go off. So yeah, I probably have to cook very low now. But maybe I'll ask again and ask if I could cook on 5. And because that would be so much better than the option she set for me after the smoke detector went off. After she chewed me out. And that just would have took forever. So I just threw those fucking burgers into the compost. Because I didn't want to wait 30 fucking minutes just for a couple of burgers. That fucking sucks. But yeah, if I lived alone, there would be no one to stop me from doing drugs and all that, and I'd probably get in such a depressive state alone that I would probably do drugs again. And I'm not saying I will. I'm not saying I want to, but I'm just thinking like that I'm very vulnerable. I'm thinking that's something that could still like maybe like take over my life if I lived alone. Not right now. I have no plans on doing drugs ever again, and there's no way I could ever do drugs ever again because I live with my aunts. But if I lived alone, I would probably might be doing drugs again, even though I don't have access to them. But I just think like I would just get in such a state that I would go back into drugs, and I really don't want to do that. You know, I really don't want to do that, and that would be a horrible thing because the drugs still have doing drugs still has impact on me to this day, and it's been a year, a full fucking year. So yeah, doing drugs fucking sucks, and I do not want to do drugs again, ever again. I'm just saying, if I was, since I'm that vulnerable, it might happen if I was living alone, you know. I'm not saying I will if I live alone, but who knows what happens. You get what I'm saying? Like, I am very strict on myself. I will never do drugs again because I have people that keep me in check and all that. But if I was living alone, no one would be keeping me in check, you know, other than like my mom, which would be like, I would see her less, even more, like I would see her even less than I do right now, and she'd be the only one keeping me in check, and that wouldn't be enough, you know. So I'm still very vulnerable. I'm not gonna do drugs, I promise you guys that. And it just it's just a possibility if I live alone. I know I said that a million times already, but yeah, I do not want to live alone. I don't even have a car. I saw a movie today and it said, don't tell people that you don't have a car or a girlfriend or a job. But like, I don't have a car, I don't have a job, I don't have a girlfriend. I have nothing keeping me sane. So I if I was alone, I would probably, sadly, like, I don't want to say this, but I would probably would do drugs again, and I don't want to, and I don't want to fall down that again. But if I lived alone, things would be much worse than they are right now. Just understand that. It would be terrible if I lived alone. I'm probably not going to be ready to live alone for another like 5 years or something. I have to really get my life together if I wanted to live alone, you know.